generally interference are there during transmission and reception, and if the receiver is receiving the interference signal, it won't be able to switch over back to the original signal of interest. So some of the modifications were made in a physical layer in order to enhance this capability to switch over to the original signal. So that enhancement was MIM, which is message in message, and in this the signal is able to switch over back to the original signal of interest from the interference signal if the signal to noise ratio is high. इसको नेक्स्ट कैसे ले जाऊँ रेशियो?
आप ये वाला ले लो, ठीक है?
Okay. Can you please mention by the way the slide number that you are talking about?
4th. Actually, earlier in the physical layer capture, what used to happen means it was found that there is a particular time window, and if in that particular time window signal and interference arise simultaneously, the receiver will be able to decode the signal. But if the gap between both the frames is more than 20 microseconds, then the receiver will not be able to decode the signal because the interference will act over there. So MIM is a link scheduling protocol which overcomes this problem and allows the receiver to disengage from ongoing signal and engage into a stronger incoming signal. And for that, signal to noise ratio should be high. And property of MIM is that if the signal arrives before the interference also and after the interference, both will be decoded by the receiver. Now, how transmission order matters, which is I think so is a main idea and basic thing to concentrate, is that two transmitter, two receiver. For this receiver, the signal coming from this will be acting as an interference, and for this, the signal coming from AP1 will be acting as an interference. Now, how transmission order matter is, like say if AP1 transmit earlier, its signal to noise ratio is 10 dB and it's 5 dB. So if AP1 transmits earlier, so this R2 will be receiving the signal, which is okay, but R1 will be receiving the interference, and after if AP1 transmits, then as signal to noise ratio is less, the AP1, the receiver 1 will not be able to switch back to AP1. So it is required that the weaker link with signal to noise ratio which is having less should be initiated first before the stronger link in MIM, and then only this receiver will be able to switch on back to the original signal.
Can you please repeat it again on this stuff?
Okay. AP2 is transmitting signal which is having high signal to noise ratio. Now this receiver is getting the signal, it will be decoded. Now this R1 will be getting a signal from AP which is nothing but the interference. Now if AP1 transmit after AP2, its signal strength will be low. It is low actually. So R1 will not be able to switch back to this particular signal.
Okay.
And thus we will not be able to decode the signal coming from AP. Therefore, in MIM case, the signal to noise, the weaker links should be initiated first, then the stronger links. That is what comes from. Then for the verification, actually, it was receiver was between two transmitters. Transmitter or receiver was kept at different points, it was checked that how interference affect the reception. So at this particular point, since it was close to the transmitter, the receiver was able to receive both the complete signal, the first arriving packet and last arriving packet. But when at fourth position or fifth position, the last arriving packet was the receiver was not able to decode the last arriving packet just because of the interference coming. So in MIM, basically, if the signal to noise ratio of the last arriving packet is increased, then the receiver will be able to decode the signal, both first arriving also and last arriving also. So in MIM, signal to noise ratio is increased for throughout.
Slide.
In MIM capable networks, the signal to noise ratio is changed accordingly as the